Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, May 20th. It's 2 p.m. Central Time, and I'm so happy you're here to join me. Today is my Facebook Live to Go class, and today we are going to feature the stamp set, You Are Remarkable. I'm excited to share those cards with you, but before I do, let me introduce myself. If you haven't visited me before, I am April Davis with April Davis Creations, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I live in Spring Hill, Kansas. So excited to be here with you and share these cards. But before I do, there's a number of things that I want to take care of before we get into the actual creation of the card. And number one is just to say thank you to everyone who likes, shares, subscribes, comments on my videos. They start on Facebook. I do Facebook Lives, and then after I'm done with the live for Facebook, I upload those same videos to YouTube. So those of you that aren't able to join me live are able to see me on YouTube as well if you don't get to my Facebook page. So thank you. Hey Sandra, thank you for joining. It's good to see you. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. And because I appreciate the fact that you're doing this, I have gifts every week for those of you who have done so. So this week I have two different gifts going out. I've got one for Michelle Tro, 1382. Michelle, thank you so much. You are going to receive this stamp set. Let me see if I can get it into the right frame for you. It's called Sharing, Loving, Crafting. It's crafted with you in mind, handcrafted by, happiness inside, sharing what I love, loving what I do, just to brighten your day. So you can put these on your cards as you share your cards. So this is for Michelle Tro, 1382. Michelle, if you would reach out to me, you can send me an email to aprildaviscreations@gmail.com. Give me your contact information so that I can get this in the mail to you. I have another gift for, this is an interesting name, the L Page. So the L Page actually commented on my video. So the L Page, whoever you are receiving a pack of Designer Series paper, 6x6, and then you're also receiving a package of matte dots. Matte black dots. They'll go really well with this Designer Series paper. So the L Page, if you will please reach out to me as well, aprildaviscreations@gmail.com. As soon as I get your contact information, I will get your prizes in the mail to you. Now, I do have some outstanding prizes from last week. I'm still waiting to hear from you. I'm waiting to hear from Tina Travis. I have a gift for you. And then I'm also waiting to hear from Danette Linville. Danette, I've got a package of supplies for you as well. If you would please reach out to me. This is the last week for you guys. I carry these over 1 week. So I need you to reach out to me. Send me an email, aprildaviscreations@gmail.com, and I will get your prizes out to you. If I don't hear from you, I'll put them back in the pool to be able to share with someone else. But thank you to all of you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing to my videos. I appreciate it so much. All right, some of the things that are going on right now that I want to get to. Let me move my screen over. I'm going to stay with you. But Stampin' Up! Does have a starter kit special going on right now. Through the end of this month, new demonstrators who purchase the kit is normally $99, but you get $125 worth of product normally. This special gives you $165 worth of product, so that's $66 additional dollars worth of product for $99. If you're interested in just adding to your collection of stash, if you will, this is a great way to do that, and the discount that comes with this. I'm always looking for fun stamp abouts to join my team. If you're not familiar with what the stamp abouts are, there's a Bonnie Raitt song that says, and I'm not a singer, so I'm going to try this, but let's give them something to talk about. Well, the stamp abouts are, let's give them something to stamp about. So I would love to have you as part of that team. The community is a lot of fun, and we have fun getting together and just sharing what we're doing. So not to forget, this ends on the 31st of May, so I wanted to be able to share that with you. Also, this is Paper Pumpkin time, the May Paper Pumpkin. I'm showing you the April Paper Pumpkin right now. And the reason I'm showing you this is I've partnered with 3 other creative demonstrators, and we have our April paper pumpkin tutorial available for you right now. If you go to my website, and I'll show you this in just a second, but if you go to my website and you go to shop and then look for PDF tutorials, you'll find the paper pumpkin alternatives tutorial for April. There's 12 additional cards. You get so many cards that you make in your paper pumpkin subscription kit, but we've done the alternatives utilizing the kit. So the April is available. I am working right now on the May. So this one just came out. The tutorial's not available because we're all working on it, but I thought I would show you just a few sneak peeks, because when I start doing tutorials, I just keep going and keep going. So I was having fun. These are not the cards that are going to be featured in the tutorial. These are some extra ones that I've done, but I thought I would just give you a quick sneak peek. So here's one of the cards. Let me see if I can get it in frame for you. But so pretty. I look at these cards as being more masculine, so it's coming out just in time for Father's Day. But if you've got brothers, if you've got someone special in your life, uncles, grandpas, these are fun cards to create for them. And then here's another one that I created along that same line. It says, "For a wonderful man," but then when you open it up, it actually says, "You mean the world to me." And this is actually a stand-up card. So thank you, Sandra. Thank you. So these were just a couple sneak peeks. These aren't even what are in the tutorial, but you'll have fun with this kit. So let me show you then. I'm going to move right on over, and I'm going to show you what's upcoming for June. So the subscription period for June is May 11th through June the 10th. It's called Full of Charm. I can't wait to get a hold of this kit and start creating as well. So here's what happens with the paper pumpkin kits. Obviously, if you subscribe, this is delivered to your door every month. If you are a demonstrator, you have the opportunity to purchase the tutorials to create additional cards. If you're not a demonstrator and you are a paper pumpkin subscriber under me, you get these tutorials absolutely free. So every month, once the paper pumpkins tutorial is complete, I send out the tutorials to my paper pumpkin subscribers. So an extra benefit to being a subscriber with me. Okay, so let me move on to the next thing, and I'm going to go 2 places. First of all, I'm going to take you to my website. So when you go to my website, there's a place that you can go to called Classes and Clubs. Right now, the subscription period for the Crafting Happiness Club, we are on the last day for this month. And I just wanted to share with you, I'm going to bring up my screen for just a second, but I wanted to share with you that for this Crafting Happiness Club, which is a monthly club, I am highlighting the new ink colors that just came out in the new catalog on May the 6th. So you are going to receive enough product to create, we've got 4 cards. You're going to make 2 of each card, and the highlight of this is going to be the cardstock that we've got. So you'll get everything that you need in order to create these cards. In addition to, you're going to receive about $20 worth of product. So part of that's going to be the Gardens and Glass embossing folders. You're going to receive a full package of the in color flat pearls, so pretty, and then you're also going to receive a bolt of the basic beige ribbon. So you'll get all of this plus all the cardstock that you need. The only thing that you're going to need to make sure you have on hand, or something close of that, is the Impressions of Bloom bundle. I do use this bundle. It's got some great dies in it, some great stamps. You can see they're already well loved. But if you don't have the Impressions of Bloom bundle, it doesn't mean that you can't use the kit. It just means that you'll go to your library and you'll find something that's very similar to it. But the focus on the kit this month are the ink colors. So today is the last day to register. Then we'll start open registration for the month of June. All right, also while we're here, I'll just show you, if you are interested in Paper Pumpkin, there's more information here to explain how Paper Pumpkin works. I am going to take you to my shop really quick because I'm going to show you where the PDF tutorials are. You can click on here. All my PDF tutorials for my to-go classes are here, as well as the Paper Pumpkin tutorials. So you can go there. And then before I leave here, I did want to show you my retired product store. I have a lot of retired product. Oh gosh, guys, I'm showing you all of this and you're not even seeing. I'm going to have to go back. My apologies. All right, so let's go back to classes and clubs just really quickly. Here's all the information for classes and clubs. And again, we're doing the in colors for this. Paper Pumpkin, I just wanted to share with you that you can find information here for Paper Pumpkin. If you go to shop, the PDF tutorials are here. Again, I mentioned for all my to-go classes, for my Paper Pumpkin tutorials, etc. And then I wanted to talk about my retired store just really quickly. I have all my products in my retired store, and there's quite a few. There's 22 pages, but if there's something that you're looking for, check out my retired store. You might find what it is that you're looking for. All right. Before I go down, I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way. I'm going to bring this back up again, and I am going to share with you the cards that we're going to be making today. So we are utilizing the You Are Remarkable stamp set. This is a photopolymer stamp set, and I'm utilizing pretty much all of the stamps. I think there's one left in here, but I'm using all of them in the cards that we're doing today. And I'm going to share with you the cards that we're making. So these stamp sets, let me show you this. You've basically got, this is a two-step stamping, so you can stamp this and then you can stamp these over it. I'm going to show you how to do that. But we are going to utilize these stamps 3 different ways, and each card is different. You'll see that. So for example, this card, we're just going to be utilizing these 2 stamps. This is a fun fold stamp. Hi, Jana. So glad you joined us. Happy Tuesday in Texas. I hope the weather is there. You know, I wasn't going to stop and talk about the weather, but oh my gosh, the weather has been bad. So all over the Midwest, We had storms yesterday. It's just now trying to clear off, but I know Texas has been hit really bad. So I hope, Jana, you didn't have any issues, and your friends didn't have any issues there in Texas. All right, back to the stamp set. We're going to be utilizing this lone stamp to make this card. And then I've got this one that we're going to be creating that is the 2-step. And we'll go through each one of these. So we're going to start with this one first. So let me bring that kit out to you so I can show you what we're using. And I'm really enjoying the new ink colors. So we've got Secret Sea, which is a really beautiful blue. We've got Cloud Cover, and I'm going to talk more about Cloud Cover here on one of the next cards. I've got a piece of basic white here. And then I've got a label here as well that we're going to stamp on. And that's really all we need besides the ribbon and the embellishments. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to get this started, and then we'll do our stamping. So I'm going to grab my bone folder so that I can do some burnishing. It's overcast here, but no issues. We're praying for rain where I'm at. Oh, so you haven't had any of the bad storms. Are you in, what do I want to say, Western Texas maybe? Because it seems like maybe the East Coast or maybe Southern Texas. I'm not sure where. All right, so we've got that. This is going to be a layer. So let's go ahead and get our stamping done. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat, and the reason that I'm doing that, I'm going to put down just a piece of scrap paper. But the reason I do that is because these photopolymer stamps don't have any cushion to them, and so my Stampin' Pierce mat gives me a little bit of cushion. You also see me sometimes use my silicone mat because it gives a little bit of cushion, but I wanted a bigger area, so I was doing this. Corpus Christi, gotcha, South Texas. No rain there. Well, I hope you get rain, just no storms. All right, I'm gonna take myself down. Whoops, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to take myself down so that I'm not blocking any of your view. And I'm going to actually use Secret C to start this card. I love this color. It's really very, very dark. So it can be confused for black, but it's not black. It's just a really deep blue. And so I'm just going to start stamping on and off my paper, and we're just going to fill the paper with various stamps. So let me do it again. It's going to take me a bit because we're going to fill this entire sheet. I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to get it right here, perhaps. And I've got to be really careful because I saw I got a little wobbly with it, and I've got ink on the corner, and so I don't really want to get any ink on my cardstock. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my little chamois cloth and wipe that off, and then we can continue on. So let me go ahead and get this inked up and get this done. Let me do this. Let me see. I think I'm going to go this way here. There's no rhyme or reason. Every time I do this, I do it differently. But I just want to fill the paper with this stamp. Okay, let's come over here. We're going to get some over here. And you can do this with any stamp set that you've got. This is fun. One of the things that I like to do is I like to make my own designer series paper. And we'll do that at some point in time. But basically what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get this filled in. And each time I do it, I want to make sure that I'm using different parts of the stamp, because once you stamp off, it removes the ink. I don't really think I need any more, so I'm going to stop right there. So let's go ahead and clean this stamp off again. I'm just going to use my chamois cloth for that. That way I don't get any of the ink on me. We'll move this off to the side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Stampin' blends, and I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight Stampin' blend, and I'm just going to add a little bit of pop to this, and I'm going to fill in the centers of my flowers. So we'll just go ahead and get that done. There's only a few of them, but it just gives the card a little bit of pop. You could just leave them totally open and just go with the stamping by itself, but I just thought it would give it a little bit of pop. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere it to my cloud cover base. And then we've got one more thing that we have to stamp. Actually, I got to do this one. So get my glue on. You guys know I like my glue because I can move things around. I'm not very good about getting things lined up. I try, I really do, but you can see I'm always off. So this way with my glue, I can kind of move things around till I get them placed where I want them placed. And then they're good. So while this is drying, I'm gonna bring this back in, and this was actually cut from, let me pull this in, Everyday Arches. Everyday Arches is like a staple, and mostly because of the die. So when I buy my stamps, I usually buy the bundles because I end up using both. But this will stay with me. This will not go into my retired products because I love these arches. But anyway, I was able to die cut the label for my Everyday Arches. These are not available right now. I just was checking this morning for another customer, but they are expected back like the first week in June. So if you don't have them and you're interested, they are coming back. All right, let me bring my Stampin' Pierce mat back again. And this time I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And I think we're gonna stamp, sometimes the simplest things mean the most. So I'm also gonna stamp this in the Secret C. So I'm gonna bring that back open and get this inked up. I'm looking through to make sure I've got everything inked appropriately. And then I'm gonna ink this, or ink it, I'm gonna stamp it up towards the top. Hopefully I'm getting this straight. And then I'm gonna have a little bit of room down at the bottom so that I can put my embellishments. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned. and then we're going to start to put this card together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our ribbon. And I'm bringing my ribbon in. This is, I don't have the label on it, but I think this is the pink and white ribbon that came out as a set. And I'm just going to take this ribbon, and rather than wrap it all the way around my card, I'm just going to wrap it part way around my card, and then we are going to tape it to the back, and then I can go ahead and tie my bow. So I'm going to bring my seal in, my Stampin' seal, and I'm just going to put a little bit of seal down here so that I can wrap this around. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I think I want to move it just a little bit because I don't want it to cover up the center of my flower. I have that pretty yellow center, and I can't even use it because I just covered it up with ribbon. So let's try this again. I'm going to do the top side. Okay, it's going to come down below, so that's good between the two. Okay, so now we'll do this side. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this adhered to my Secret Sea card base. So I've got dimensionals out here. Let me pull these out. And we'll get the dimensionals on. And I've been known, I don't go crazy with dimensionals, but I do use enough dimensionals to prevent card sag. I do put a lot of my cards in the mail, and I just want to make sure that they look the same when they get to wherever they're going and they don't get squished too much. So anyway, I use probably a few more than I need to, but it makes me happy. So let me pull these off real quick. And then the other thing that I'm going to do, and you may have seen me do this before, but I am going to put glue on the back of my dimensionals. Now I do this for one reason and one reason only, because again, I can't get my layers on straight. This has nothing to do with how sticky these dimensionals are. They're very, very sticky. But I need a little bit of wiggle room so that if I don't get these down straight the first time, I can wiggle them around. So I'm going to bring this back in, make sure it's opening up the right way. And then I am going to lay this down. Looks good from side to side. I'm going to pick it up. The other thing that I find is when I put glue on the back of my dimensionals, it's kind of weird, but I usually get it on straight. Whereas if I didn't put glue on the back of my dimensionals, it would be crooked. All right, so let's put some dimensionals on the back of my label here. And we're going to get this set up. So I'm going to put them at the top, and at the bottom I'm going to straddle the ribbon. So I don't really need any, I'm going to put them right here. I don't really need any in the middle because it's going to be sitting on top of the ribbon. All right, so let's go ahead and get these backs off. My take your pick just helps me get them all off in one fell swoop, and then I can get them put into the bin. See now I think I'm going to end up covering that up anyway. Let's see, I'm going to move it over just a little bit. Last time I had it off to the right side, but I'm going to do it just a little bit differently, and I just don't want to cover up all of that flower. So I am instead going to center this time. So I think I've got this centered where I want it. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more ribbon. Let's see, what's it doing? Some more ribbon, and I'm going to tie a bow. So I'm just going to take my ribbon snips, cut some of this off. I'm going to thread it up underneath where I had it, tie it tight, and get my bow in here. Okay, let me adjust this a little bit. I've got that. I'm just going to angle off my ends. Actually, this one needs to be tied. There we go. Angle off my ends here and here. And then I'm going to bring in my embellishments. These are called Starburst sequins, but they've got a pretty yellow, like Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to take one of the big ones, and I'm going to center it here, and then I'll put on each side the little yellow ones. There we go. Move all of these tools out of the way, and we are finished with card number 1. Could you please explain what you have on your reel to keep the end from unraveling? Oh, good job, Sandra. Okay, this is a little gadget, if you guys can see. It's just a strip of paper, and then I've got like a little hole in the middle of it. I will look to see, her name is escaping me right at the moment, but when she created this, I thought it was brilliant. I pull this through, and then I can pull this back, and my ribbon stays put, unless I get it twisted up. But I love this. That keeps my ribbon from going wonky. But literally, it's just one long strip, and all I do is place it and fold it so that it folds on the back side and the front side. Once I have it folded where I want it, I just take a little hole punch and punch a hole in it for my ribbon, and then you can see I've got it glued right here. I've done this to all of my ribbon. It's just so helpful. So Janet, thank you or Sandra, thank you for asking about this, because this is one of my favorite things to do. And she does have a video, so I'm gonna write myself a note so that I remember to post the video in the description for this. So let me do this really quick so that I don't forget. Post note, or post the video. All right, so I will get that done so you guys can see how she does it. And she does it in a lot of different sizes. I actually found that I didn't need to follow the sizes. Literally, once I have my strip, as long as it fits my hole, I just do the folding, the punching, and gluing, and it's ready to go. But it's been amazing. Okay, card number 1 done. So pretty. Let's move on to card number 2. And we're going to do card number 2 a little bit differently. So I'm going to bring card number 2 in. And let's see, where's my kit for card number 2? We are using the basic beige cardstock. I've taken a layer of basic beige. It's tone on tone. And I've actually utilized the 3D distressing tile for this. It's a last chance item. Normally $10. It's on sale for $9. This is while supplies last. I'm sorry to see it go, but I'm glad I've got it in my repertoire. So we've got the basic beige card base, the layer, then I've got a piece of basic white that we're going to stamp our flower on. And then I have an oval that I've actually cut from the Modern Oval punch. So we're going to utilize that for our sentiment. And let me see, I don't think there's anything else. We're just going to add ribbon and sequins. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get our stamping done first. And I'm going to bring back my mat in again. And this time I'm going to stamp in basic black. So let me bring in my Memento ink, basic black. Oops. All right, so my ink pad was a little gushy on one end, and I'm not really happy with that because I don't know what it's going to do to my card. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to sop that up. I have several pads, and I never know which one I have filled most recently and which one I haven't, but I want to make sure I get a good coating. All right, so we're going to take this and we're just going to stamp it right about here to the left of the card because I want to have room for my sentiment. All right, so we've got this, making sure I get a good connection all the way through. Okay, once I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and clean this stamp up. Get the ink off of there. We'll use this again. And then while I'm stamping, I've got this is the 2-step stamping. So we're going to stamp our leaves with this stamp, and we're going to stamp our flower with this stamp. So I'm going to start with Old Olive. I'm going to stamp in Old Olive. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this up. And let me see, get this centered up where I want it. Get my leaves all inked up. And they're, these leaves, you can kind of see there's some light and dark areas. It just gives lots of dimension to the stamp. So let me go ahead and I'm going to get my leaves lined up. Hopefully you guys can see this. Or I'm trying to keep it in frame but not get my head in the way. So I'm trying to get this lined up as best I can. If it's not perfect, it's not going to hurt anything. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come down right here. Get a good connection. And there we go. I was off a little bit, but actually it kind of looks cool. It looks like I did it on purpose. So let me go ahead and clean this stamp off. And again, I'm using my simple chamois. I've got a couple chamois here that I'm using, and I love my chamois because I can just take them out. Makes it easy to clean. And then while I've got the green out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my sentiment as well. And the sentiment is, you are remarkable in every single way. So let me go ahead and get this inked up as well. And I'm just going to stamp it right here on my oval. Get this centered, stamped. Hopefully I'm straight. Looks pretty good. All right, let's get this cleaned up. We're going to come back to the sentiment in just a second. I'm not done with it. We'll come back to it. But now I'm going to move into my next color of ink, and I'm going to actually use Strawberry Slush. I'm bringing back in my, what did I do with my little, whoops. This is my little sheet. The Strawberry Slush is a light color, but it's still darker than what I want my flower to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a second generation stamp, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in Strawberry Slush. This is my first stamp, and see how dark that is? But my second stamp is a lot lighter, and that's what I'm going for, is the lighter one in this particular card. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to come back up here, and I need to stand up, I think, so that I can get this lined up appropriately. I'm going to bring this in, get it lined up where I want it to go. Don't want to get my head in it. I'm going to go down here. There we go. And now we've got our flower as well. And it's second, whoops, look what I did, guys. Let's see, got my finger in it. Inevitable. Can't seem to stamp without doing that. So let's get this cleaned up before I get it every place else. Get that cleaned off. Make sure I got the ink off of my hands. All right, so now we've got that ready to go. So the next thing that we get to do is we just get to start building this card. How easy was that? Let me move these out of the way. And I'm going to bring back in my card base, which is the basic beige. Let's go ahead and get this folded and burnished. Okay. And then I'm going to take glue on the back of this layer. I just like tone on tone a lot. And I like to be able to layer things up. I think the lady's name, oh, you're so right, that came, shared the ribbon saver idea. You are absolutely right. It is Brenda. Thank you. I had forgotten her name. But I actually ran into her at on stage a few months ago, and I told her I just loved her idea. I thought it was brilliant. I think a lot of people enjoy that as well. Okay, so we're going to bring back my ribbon before I put it down, and I am going to use my ribbon snips. We're going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to bring this down a little bit, turn it over, get my seal out. Get this level. Okay, this again. Whoops. Come on, seal. There we go. Oh, whoop. I guess I didn't get it. Thought I did. All right, there we go. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start to build the card. I'm going to bring my dimensionals back in again. You guys know I love my dimensionals. Hi, Jenny. I'm so glad you joined. No worries. You can, once I finish going live, it will post to Facebook and you can watch from the beginning once it posts to Facebook. But I'm so glad you joined. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and add some extras here. One there and one there. Okay, let's get the backing off. last one. There we go. I try to keep them all together nice and neat. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time, guys, because I need to have a little bit of flexibility. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put my glue on the back of my dimensionals. There's just so many of them, and I wanna be able to move this around if I need to. All right, so I'm gonna center this in the card, right about here, I think. Let me see if I'm good top to bottom. I have to remember I'm looking at the cardstock and not the flower, because I purposely put my flower off to the left-hand side. So I think I need to go up just a little bit. But see, I'm able to do that with this glue on the back of my dimensionals. Okay, I'm happy with that right the way that it is. Okay, let me show you something else. Now I stamped my sentiment on this label from the punch. I could go ahead and adhere it the way that it is right now. That being said, I've got plain white, basic white, my labels on plain white, basic white, and I just felt like it needed a little bit of oomph. So what I did is I went ahead and embossed this. So I'm gonna bring my big cut and emboss in, and I have to do that because I'm using the big folder. So again, I'm using the 3D Distressed Tile folder. So I can go ahead and I can get my label in here, get it closed up, and then I'm gonna crank it through. And it will add some pizzazz, if you will, to this label. Now, one of the things that you need to remember when you're doing this, is that you want to do your stamping first, because if you emboss it and then you try to stamp, it just doesn't work. So let me bring this back in, and now I can lay this down, and for me, it just adds a little bit of oomph to it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a dimensional on the bottom, because most of it's going to be on the top of this white base. So I've got, whoops, darn it, I thought I turned that over and I turned it over the wrong way. Okay, here's the bottom. Now, the rest of it is actually going to go on the rest of the card. So I just needed a little bit of support for the part that was hanging off the card. So let's go ahead and get some glue on here. I'll take the backing off. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to get it even here and here for the most part. But we can get our label down. You are remarkable in every single way. And then I am going to tie yet another bow. So get out my little handy dandy spool, and I'm just going to thread this through. This is the easiest way for me. I think it's less waste as well. There's nothing wrong with doing it the other way. I just like to be able to save on my ribbon a little bit, because I don't save on my dimensionals. So anyway, let me get this tied up tight. I didn't cut a whole lot of ribbon here, so I need to do some finessing with it. Oops, pull this down, get it the way that I want it. That looks good. I'm going to take and angle this side off. I'm going to take and angle this side off. And we've got our ribbon. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some of these sequins. And this time I'm going to use, the pink just didn't match for me. So I am going to use these white sequins. And I'm just going to get a couple of these on, just to add a little bit of bling to the card. I'll put these down here. Move all of this out of the way, and we now have card number 2 completed. Isn't that pretty? And we use the stamp in a totally different way. All right, now we're going to bring in card number 3. And card number 3's, again, going to be totally different. So this is a fun fold card. So let me bring out the pieces that I'm using for it. I'm using Mossy Meadow. I'm using 2 pieces of basic white. Again, I used the Everyday Arches stamp set or dies for that. So I used probably the third from the largest. I cut 2 of them. And then I have some more Mossy Meadow that I actually cut to fit as layers, and I was looking for the embossing folder. It was the one that I just showed you that you're getting with the, hold on guys, I got it right here. This one. It's part of the Glass and Gardens. So basically what I did is I took my pieces and then centered them right in the center of this and was able to get layers. Now, one of the things that I did is on the first one, and this is where I'm changing things up. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but I actually did the embossing on the actual card base. And it was fine. This one was layered, and this one was on the card base. I decided I liked it better. So I'm gonna change this up a little bit with you guys watching. I decided I wanted to go ahead and do 2 layers instead of embossing on the actual card base. But again, you can do it a number of different ways. So the first thing I did is I scored it at 4 1/4, because it's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. I scored it at 4 1/4. I'm gonna burnish that. And then just, you score halfway in. So I scored halfway in, and then I'm gonna fold this back. So now, basically, I've got my fun fold here. And then you can take these layers, and let's go ahead and we'll get this done now, but I'm gonna take these layers. Thank you, Sandra. Jana, thank you. These were so fun, and I love sharing, so I'm glad you guys are here to share this with me. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to get this laid down on this side, and I'm just gonna get it centered up. I just like the idea of having that extra layer. I just do. And then we'll take this one, and I'm gonna put it to the other side. This one centered right over here. So it matches the other side, right? If you open it all the way up, we've got the layers on each side. Okay, so now let's get ready. While this is finished drying, we're gonna start to stamp. So I'm gonna bring this back in, and I'm going to take arch number 1, and we are gonna be stamping with the textured stamps, if you will, not the detailed stamps. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stamp my leaves first, because I feel like I can put a flower at the top here and a flower at the bottom here. So I'm gonna go ahead and find my Mossy Meadow, which is the color that I'm utilizing for this. And we are going to ink this up and get it stamped down. All right, so I'm gonna set it off to the side. I don't think I'm gonna need it again, but let me see. I'm gonna go off just a little bit because I want these on the edges. I'm gonna tilt, 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 tilt. So I think I'm gonna go right about here. Okay, so while I've got this stamp out and it's inked up, so we've got this one, I'm gonna move off to the side, and we're gonna do the same thing on this one. Okay, so I'm gonna ink it up again. And this time we're going to, I'm just double checking to see what I'm doing here. This time we're going to stamp it right down here in this corner. Okay, so we've got our leaves stamped. Let me put this away, clean this up so that we can move on to the cloud cover so we can get our flowers stamped. All right, so let me talk a little bit about cloud cover. This is my cloud cover. Why is my cloud cover in such a small little container instead of a big container? Stampin' Up, when they created the end colors, for whatever reason, and they're still trying to figure it out, but cloud cover just did not hold its color with our foam pads. I don't know if you can see or not, but our pads are foam pads. And when the cloud cover ink pad was designed and they were doing their testing, it just didn't hold its color. So we have the, let me see if I can reach over here real quick and grab it. We have everything for cloud cover. We have our cardstock. Okay, I love this color. We have our Stampin' blends, and we have our marker. We have everything that we need, including an ink refill for cloud cover. We just don't have it in a foam-based pad. So you can buy little, these are, they're not foam, they're gosh, there's like a little bit of a texture here. It's escaping me if somebody knows that the texture of this pad. But basically what you can do is you can buy these little cubes separately. They come in like a pack of 6, I think. And you can create your own stamp pad. I love this color. I wanted to use cloud cover. So I'm creating my own cloud cover ink pad. It's just little, but I've got everything else that I need. So I'm good to go with cloud cover. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in the flower and we're going to stamp it off a couple of times. So I'm going to just take my ink pad, and it's still a little juicy. I realize that. I inked it up really, really well. So when I do this, fiber pad, Jana, thank you. I need you with me each time I do this so that you can fill in the blanks. But it is very inky, and so it's going to have more of like a kind of a water color effect. But I still loved it, so I went ahead and did it. Eventually, I will have enough of the ink cover that leaves that, or the ink color that leaves that it won't be quite so watercolory, but that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to turn this over because I'm going to put another stamp right down here. Ooh, hopefully that wasn't in the way. Okay, so, oh, I just think those are so pretty. All right, now we've got one more flower that we need to do on the other one. So let me go ahead and get this inked up. And we're going to put it right here. Okay. There we go. All right, let me clean this stamp off because we're done stamping flowers. I'm still using my cloud cover because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of interest with these little dots. The set comes with a stamp that's just little dots, and I am just going to start stamping some dots all over. Not everywhere, but you know, just a little bit here and a little bit there. So let me go ahead and get these stamped. Put another one, I'm going to turn this and I'm going to do it here. And then we'll do one over here. I don't want to go too far in because I'm going to be stamping my sentiment here in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then we're going to put some on this piece. It just adds a little bit of interest. It's kind of fun. So one here, and let's do another one here, and I'm going to do one more. I'm not going to go crazy, but I do like my little dots. So let's, right here. Okay, very good. So we're done with that. Let me clean this off. And I've got 2 more things that I need to stamp while we're stamping. Well, actually, I've got more than that. I'm getting carried away. I need to bring out my Daffodil Delight. Can I bring that one over? I don't have Daffodil Delight, so I'm going to bring in Darling Duckling, which happens to be one of the new in colors as well. And what I want to do with Darling Duckling, and I'm going to test this out, because I think I used Daffodil Delight before, but I'm going to test this out. I want to see how dark it is. So that's how dark it is. That's probably a little bit darker than what I want. So again, we're going to do second generation. I'm going to stamp that off, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to stamp that in there. Okay, so we've got that one, and then let's go ahead and do the next one. They look like little beans. Okay, and then this one. Get this one stamped. Okay, so now I have my centers, and I really like this Secret Sea ink, and so I think instead of using black, I'm going to use Secret C for my sentiment, and I'm also going to use it for my B. So I'm going to bring in my sentiment. My sentiment is going right here. I'm going to bring in my sentiment. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. So sweet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this inked up. Move this off to the side so it's out of my way, and then I think I'll stand up so that I can make sure I get a good, okay, there we go. And then I'm going to clean this off and we'll do our little bee, and I think our stamping will be done. All right, so here's my little bee with its tail here. So, and I'm going to place it right about, I think right here. There we go. Oh, isn't that cute? Okay, love the bee. Okay, now let me put these inks away and we can start to build this card. Okay, so first things first, let me get this stuff out of the way. I'm going to bring back in my card base, and I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put the inside piece down first. So here's my inside piece, and I'm just going to make sure that I get it centered side to side and top to bottom-ish. So let's go ahead and get this down. Okay, and the glue gives me the opportunity to scooch things around if I need to. So I just want to make sure I've got it side to side. Okay, so pretty. Then we'll close this up, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to line it up. So I like to do the inside first if I can, because then it makes it easier for me to do my top piece. So it's only going to be on this half, so I'm going about halfway-ish. We'll get this all covered up with glue. I'm making sure I've got plenty of glue because I am adhering this to an embossed piece. But I'm going to turn this over. We're going to get this lined up again. Just make sure I've got it lined up over here. Very good. I'm going to open it up this way. I'm not seeing any glue on this side, so that's good. So we've got that. Now what I'm going to do, let me see, do I want to bring this down just a tiny bit? I might be able to. Yep, I was able to bring that down a tiny bit. All right, so let me take my ribbon one last time. Whoops. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tie a bow with it. There we go. Pretty little bow. We'll get this end. Okay. And then I've got glue dots. So I'm just going to take a glue dot. Do I have those out? I've got some of these. I think these are old. Not that old's bad, but I like the ones with the ribbon on instead. So I put the ribbon on just to kind of hold my strip down while I'm working with it, and it doesn't get carried away like my ribbon did before I had something to put my ribbon on. All right, so I'm gonna pick maybe this area right here that I want my bow to go in, and I'm double checking again just to make sure it's the right size. I'm gonna trim this down just a tiny bit more. There we go, and then I can put my ribbon right here. Okay, so I've got my ribbon, and then I am also going to add a few sequins here for bling. So let's go ahead and I think I'm just going to keep them on the white this time. So here, and I'm going to take another one, and I'm going to place it right about there. Okay, very good. Now we have card number 3. How fun was that? Just love playing with these cards. This set is a fun set to play with because you saw I did these flowers 3 different ways. I use this for one flower, I use this for another flower, and then I use the two together. So let me bring the cards back in. This was card number 3. Get these down so you guys can see them. Let's see, we had card number 2, which was the 2-step stamping. So we've got that. And then we have this card. So how fun are those? So fun. And I was able to incorporate just a couple of things. My everyday arches, remember these come back, I believe it's the first week in June, like June 2nd-ish or something like that. So these will be available. And then don't forget that the 3D Distress tile is last chance. It is also $1 off, so we used that. And then this glass, this is a 2-set. This, I only used the one, but we've got the glass and gardens that we used. But other than that, it was just the one stamp set. So let me come back to you guys just to say thank you so much for joining me today. I stayed on time, which I'm grateful, and I love the fact that so many of you joined me today. And if you have any questions or you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm going to, let me see, I'm getting ready to, ask you to please like and share if you would. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that as well. Those of you that won prizes this week, the L page needs to reach out to me, and Michelle Trow needs to reach out to me for this week. Last week, the winners I still haven't heard from are Tina Travis and Danette Linda. So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye.